So we've all had a lot of fun. You want to continue with the fun? Well, then there's a very interesting strategy I can share with you, which you can have fun at work, but gives you rich dividends. Something which I've practiced and has paid me great results. And very simple is, if you want to make a great success of your career ahead, first of all, we've all come with a purpose. What's your purpose of the service? What's the purpose of it? Let me begin by saying thank you to your director and to your members of the faculty for inviting me. It's such a wonderful occasion to return to all of you, and wonderful occasion to return to any academy, because it introduces us to the future of this country. Each one of you is going to do tremendous work for the next decades and decades. So therefore, it's always a privilege and a destiny to meet you. Now, I wanted to ask you, are you aware all that hard work which you've achieved and made it here out of millions? What's your purpose? What's the purpose of this victory? What's the purpose of this trophy which you won? What's the purpose? What is the purpose of this examination which you've passed? And what's the higher purpose of now going through this great training academy? What's the purpose? Anybody, raise your hand. Then I'm going to give you a secret. Huh? Make our nation great. Okay. Service. Nation great. Nation great, public service. Being a better human being. Anybody else? We'll take 3 more and then I'll tell you a very interesting secret. Driving for excellence. Self-actualization. All right. You got so many. You got so many lovely answers. How would you do it? Question is, these are your goals, right? Right? These are your goals. That's what you've come for. How will you do it? Is there one route to it? Doing your job properly is your route to it. Any other route? Any other route? Because I want you to go with this strategy. Something which got me going. Something which actually got me the Max SA. I'm going to give you that as a secret. I don't think we've debated it, but this thought came to me in the morning when we had a wonderful meeting with your director and your deputy director and your course director who's invited me. This came this morning. So I've not come prepared. I'm not prepared, but I've come with what will work for you. You said, what did you say in the end? How will you do it? Doing a job in a better manner. Any other? Discipline. Learning from experience. Discipline, learning from experience, doing your job properly. Can I give you one mantra? And if you would believe me, then follow this. Something which is not being followed. And this is the reason by which our governance is suffering hugely. One of the major reasons for our governance, despite all of you brightest, despite all the resources we have, despite the budgeting we have, despite the laws and rules and regulations we have, despite the wonderful leadership we have at many places. Do you know why it's not delivering? And you know it's not delivering. You know, you've been students. It's not delivering the manner in which people need it. Am I right? So we are here to change it, right? So are we here for changing, or are we going to go with the stream? First of all, tell me, do you want change or you want transformation? Or do you want a revolutionary transformation? Or do you want a minor modification? What do you want? Because it all depends on what you want. How much you want, right? The question is, how do you do it? There's one route. And if you promise me to understand it, then each one of you will be the best. Will be remembered when you leave that place. Do you want to be remembered when you leave that place? Do you, or yes or no? Yes. No, I'm not hearing it. Yes. Or is it 50% yes and 50% no? Do you want to be remembered when you make an exit? That's an exit door. Every one of us has an entry and an exit. You've had your entry and exit through colleges and universities. You will have your entry and exit through training. You will have your entry and exit through every posting. Because nothing's permanent. Change is the law. Growth is optional. Choose wisely, it's said. So do you want to make a great exit where people say, "Bahut acha tha. ना जाता तो अच्छा था, या बहुत अच्छी थी, ना जाती तो अच्छा था, अच्छी थी, और या कहते शुक्र हुआ वो गया, बड़ा मुश्किल था उसके साथ, आज सेलिब्रेट करते हैं वो चले गए. So do you want to be remembered to say we miss you, or do you want to say glad you got out? Do you want to be missed? Yes or no? Yes. How much? How much do you want to be missed? How much? So that even, you know what? Do you know what? In the governor's gallery, the Lieutenant Governor's gallery in Puducherry, what do you call the courtyard, there are photographs of the past governors. And we decided to have a lecture, a leadership series in the names of lieutenant governors who are remembered. You know what? Only 3 names came. And I'm almost probably the 30th or something. 3 names came. And we started the first one called Mr. Malkani's lecture series. There were 3 names out of 30 plus. 3 names. Others were not in the reckoning. But we began with Mr. Malkani. And there were other 2. So this is what happens. 30, when the entire administration machinery, when I asked them, they remembered 3. Others were also there. They were adorning the beautiful pictures. But there were only 3 which came back, and we started to run it in their name. So do you want to be remembered, or do you want to be just a photo in this saying, ye bhi aaya tha, or ye gaya tha, or ye gayi, ye aayi. So how much? It's a question of how much. How much do you want to be remembered? Till this 3, will you like to be one of these 3, or would you like to be one of those 30, other 27? Wo bhi aaye the. Tell me. How much? How much? How much? Think about yourself. How much do you want to be remembered? One of those 3? The answer is very simple. What is it that those 3 were doing? What is that those 3 were doing? Answer is very simple. And please, that's your mantra. They were visible. They were every day in the field. They were going to the people. People were not coming to them. People were coming to them because they were going to the people. They were going to the people. And we in the bureaucracy have stopped going to the people. Politicians go to the people because they need them. If they're not visible, they won't get their vote. They have to go to the people. It all depends how often they want to go and in what manner they want to go. That's their life. But what about us? We're not dependent on their votes. We get our salary whether we go or not. How does it matter? We got a security of tenure. If we have nothing wrong in our service, we'll keep getting our next promotion. We'll keep getting our posting. We don't have to go to people. So how do people matter at all? Which is why we are not going to the people. Am I right or am I wrong? I can't hear you. Let's make it wrong then. Saying, this batch of SANGAM, and you're a very interesting batch. You're cutting across all services. You can then make it wrong. This is called the real SANGAM. SANGAM is convergence, coming together. It's a confluence. And who should go? The powerful should go to the weak, or the weak should come to the powerful. And powerful's doors are shut. Powerful doors are shut. Powerful doors are not open. There's a security darban there. Now the question is, how do you go to the field? When do you go to the field? Why should you go to the field? And what advantage will it have? The biggest advantage by your going to the, first of all, let's begin. Why should you go to the field? It's because if you want transformation, and if you want all this what I asked you, and all of you write, all this is inherent in the fieldwork. The biggest bane of our bureaucracy in civil services is we are not visible and we are not field-oriented. We are paper-oriented, we are reports-oriented, we are inquiries-oriented, we are not correction-oriented, we are not prevention-oriented, we are detection-oriented, we are punishment-oriented, we are punitive, not preventive. And therefore, we want to push the paper. So friends, if you want to change, then one thing you got to commit before you leave this door today is that you will begin your day with the field. Now, field doesn't only mean out on the road or in the street, but field also means reaching out to your own officers in field offices, connecting with them. I ran once, I was the Director General of a particular office, won't mention the name. It was a central police organization. I went to one day to the office to see how are my colleagues sitting and working. Guess what? I found one of them sitting on a heap of newspapers. He didn't have a chair. He was sitting on a heap of newspapers. It was all old newspapers. He didn't have a chair. And it was for years together. Then another part of the office it was full of archives and archives. Nobody had got them out of the system. If I had not gone, that man wouldn't have got a chair and the archives wouldn't have gone. So it's not necessarily that you go into the street, into your own offices, checking out, do they have a washroom? Women's washroom. Do they have women have a washroom? Do they have a restroom? Or do they have a playway school for children? It will not work. Your bureaucracy and our bureaucracy is becoming only suit, boot, and tie shy. It's not becoming sneakers, and it's not becoming field-oriented. Huge investment of our country is just being office-oriented. Do you want to change it, or do you want to keep it the same way? Please, last benches. Do you want to change it or keep the same way? Then the field is the beginning of the journey. It's a beginning of a journey. Begin this journey after your training is complete. I'm going to come back to your training a bit. After your training, whatever assignment, and hopefully you should all get field assignments, and wherever you get straight away a field assignment, start the day with the field. What if you walk the streets, the BDO, the SDMs, the SDPOs, the assistant commissioners, the railways, whoever you are, the journalist, go to the streets, assess things for yourself, walk for half an hour. You have a morning walk. You have a walk. Imagine if our deputy commissioners of cities were walking the streets. Imagine. Imagine if our superintendents of police or the ASPs are walking the streets every day. Imagine. Imagine all these officers walking their own areas. Things would be clean. Streets would be cleaner. Imagine the village rural development people going to the villages and sitting with the women or in the Mahila Mandal and having a panchayat. Imagine. It's happening, but in isolation. What this country needs is everybody. You don't begin. What happened at the moment is 10 a.m. or 9 a.m., you sit in the field, you sit in the office, and you read India Today. Or you read a newspaper. Or you read the Time magazine, which has come. Baki baad mein, pehle coffee, phir TV. This is happening. And if this happens again with you, then all this investment will not reap the dividends what it ought to. It's a very expensive training. These congregations are on taxpayers' cost. It's taxpayers' cost. Have you paid for it, any one of us? Even I haven't. Even I've come at taxpayers' cost. Have you anybody come out of your own pocket? Anybody? None. It's a collective cost on a taxpayer. And so look at the time investment we've all given. For me, it has been Pondicherry by road to Chennai, a flight to Delhi, then a flight through Dehradun, then to Mussoorie. You can see the journey? It has a heavy cost of time and money and energy. Friends, these trainings are very, very expensive on time, energy, effort, and money. What is it that you will take away from here beyond this medal and the wonderful memories and the networking and the friendships and the teameries and the camaraderies which are absolutely essential? Camaraderie, networking, friendship, teamwork, knowing your colleagues is wonderful. It's all about coordination, where you can pick up a phone and seek help. But without the field work, you will not be able to transform India, which it's waiting for. Have you understood? Once you're visible, those 3 governors were visible. And they were honest. Because moment you're visible, your name is known. Your face is recognized. And can you do favors? Can you have skeletons in the cupboard and walk the streets? No. People say, अरे साहब, आप वही है ना? आपने मुझे उनको ये गड़बड़ किया, वही है ना? वो डरेगा, वो नहीं जाएगा. डरा हुआ नहीं जाएगा. जो डरेगा, वो नहीं जाएगा. आपकी प्रार्थना कहती है, डरो मत. तो निडर हो ना, तो निकलो गांव में, निकलो शहरों में. अरे कभी कभी साइकिलिंग भी करके देख लो. क्या होता है आपको? Weren't you biking as students? Weren't you? Yes or no? Then what's the problem? The car can follow you. Get into the car. I do that as a governor. I bike around the entire Pondicherry today. Pondicherry is cleaner because of the biking. Why? Because how can you leap heaps of garbage around when the governor is biking? So I call it Swachh rallies. I call it Swachh rallies. I do it as a Lieutenant Governor. I also do it as a Swachh Ambassador. Because I was a Swachh Ambassador before I became a Lieutenant Governor. So I'm doing it as a Swachh Ambassador. You may like it or not. And what has happened? It's brought student community, it's brought NSS, it's brought teachers, it's brought citizens, it's got activists, all joining us every weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Lieutenant Governor's office, we all do cycle rallies called Swachh rallies. And streets are much cleaner. Friends, you have to, when you do the field work, you get out of the high horse, you break hierarchies, and you play. Cycling is a sport. Your sport to be not left one-time sport is this. Go to the field. I played a lot of tug of wars with women SAGs. Lot of tug of wars. I take volleyballs in the car. Take volleyball, take handballs in your transport and go and distribute balls. Distribute balls. Say, let's play. Distribute a net. Let's play. Play with the boys and girls. Play. Women could play. Girls could play. It will be a lot of fun. You want to continue with the sport? Now do it at work. Do it at work. Not in an atmosphere. This is a message. Take games to people. Take games and be with the people, one of them. And you were there, one of them. Look, secondly, finally, I would say, please inculcate a strong sense of gratitude. You prayed hard for where you've come. Today is Hanuman Jayanti. I'm sure many of you said, Hanuman ji, sari umar aapke mandir mein aunga, mujhe pass kara do. Or you would have gone to another mandir or another masjid or a church or a gurdwara saying, please, pass kara do, qualify kar do, sari umar aapka dhanyavad karunga. But the moment we get what we want, we remember God, but we don't remember the creation of God. We shut our doors and say, appointment leke aana, security risk hai, isko nahi milna hai, yahan wo aana VIP hai, usko chai pilana bahut, आदमी को बाहर रखना खड़ा. Now this is something which can be read as do's and don'ts, but your attitudes have to change. So if you want to really celebrate for the rest of your life and to be remembered when you make an exit, then field work is the route. Honesty, it will come by honesty, it will give you a memory, it will sensitize you, it will get to make you see, and it will be innovative. If you see what Prime Minister said yesterday, be innovative. Bring solutions. How will innovation come in solutions? Till you know the problem. Till you see it. You see it. You see the problem and you'll get the answer. And the junior doesn't say, sir, ye solution hai. Junior and you see it together and you might come up with a solution which is innovative. How will you get an innovative solution? In all my life, I've found innovative solutions because of the field work. You mentioned in the introduction about the prison work. Prison was only one of the many innovations. All my life, you talked about drug abuse. What have I to do with drug abuse? I opened drug abuse treatment centers by going to the communities and seeing it's huge, it's linked with crime. Why don't I open drug abuse treatment centers? And we opened it. I'm not here to narrate to you what were the benefits I got by going to the field. That the Magsaysay Award says it in the citation. I never realized that this is a route to these kinds of recognitions. One doesn't work for recognition. Biggest recognition for any police officer is to be missed when he or she leaves. So friends, remain grateful. Every day, my second request to you is, one is, do field work. How often can you do? Ideally is to start the day with it, because then the rest of the day engulfs you. And when you go for field work, if you can stay back in that village. Stay back in the locality. Don't rush back. Stay back to listen, to see people. Then you'll know what is needing to be done. And all your government servants will run. My second thing is gratitude. Do not ever forget the prayer you said before you made it to the service. You were all desperate to make it. When out of millions, you get the few get it. And it's a lifelong trophy. Such a posting is a lifelong trophy. I want to end it by what Nelson Mandela said. I have something on this. As I said, it's a lifelong trophy. And as your last speaker talked about, who climbed the Everest despite being disabled and made it as a champion on the Everest, I think it's in the same, I'm continuing the same stream. And I was informed that she came. And this was Nelson Mandela who said, after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. As far as you're concerned, after passing a great, toughest examination, one only finds that there are many more exams to pass. And every day of yours will be an examination to pass. I have taken a moment to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can only rest a moment. And this was your rest moment. This was your rest moment. But I can only rest a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities. And in your case, with passing of examination comes responsibilities. And I dare not linger, for my long walk has not ended. And for you, the long walk has just begun. If you remember this, what Nelson Mandela said, pick up and look for him. I think your journey has just begun. Remain grateful for wherever you've reached. Remain grateful to all those who made it possible to be with you. Remain grateful for all who made it possible, to your teachers, your parents, your family, your friends, whoever. But when you start succeeding in your work, remain grateful to your colleagues, to your juniors who are making it happen. Then only will the people who supported you, people and your colleagues will remember you. And they will then pick up 3 out of 30. And you will be always, not 3 out of 30, all of you will be 100 out of 100. Because each one should be missing. वो ऑफिसर आया था, कमाल की सिलेक्शन होती है. सरकार तो बहुत अच्छी सिलेक्शन करती है. क्योंकि ये इन्होंने इतने सेलेक्ट करिए, लोगों के साथ मिलते रहते, काम बात करते, पूछते आके हम आपकी हेल्प क्या कर सकते हैं, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करते हैं और एक्सेसिबल रहते हैं. और हमारे साथ गेम्स भी खेलते हैं. कभी कभी वॉलीबॉल भी खेलते हैं, हैंडबॉल भी खेलते हैं और टग ऑफ वॉर भी खेलते हैं. किस लिए? ताकि लोग जीत जाए. धन्यवाद.
Taranjot.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Taranjot Singh. I am from Indian Administrative Service. Ma'am, my question is related
Which service?
to Indian Administrative Service. My question is related to what you have talked about. We see that the candidates come with a lot of passion into the service, but gradually into their career they tend to lose that passion. So is it just that they close themselves to the...
What? Is it what?
Is it just that they close themselves to the field realities that they lose such passion, or is it something, is there some discrepancy in a system as well that we tend to punish our honest, passionate officers? So what is your take on that?
As I told you, if you keep going back to the field, you'll remain passionate. Your passion is lost when you are a receiver. You are at the other end and problems overtake you. If you be proactive and if you reach out, you'll be in command and control. But because you're a receiver at the other end, and you distance yourself from the people whom you're willing to serve, you become somewhere defeated because you don't have answers. Sometimes resources fall short of your needs, and then you start avoiding people because you don't have the answers. The best way is take the bull by the horns. Keep walking into people, keep reaching out to the people, keep listening to the people. People will accept shortages if you are visible. But people will not accept shortages if you are only issuing a press release. They will continue to agitate against you and say, he's the officer, and you will say, inka yahi kaam, mera yahi kaam, ab maine ek din chale jana hai, koi farak nahi padta. But if you remain sensitive, because you cannot go into the field without being sensitive, it will end. Number two, it will raise your sensitivity because you see the ill, the sick, the ailing, the deprived, the downtrodden. Then your heart will start feeling. You cannot feel, see. I'm asking you, go and see every day. It's like seeing a good movie. Reading about a good movie and seeing a movie, there's a big difference. There's a big difference seeing Gandhi and reading only Gandhi. When you see the movie on Vivekananda or Gandhi, you get moved differently when you only then read his book. So I'm asking you, this is my plea. I wish the government of India issues a direction. It's time the government issues a diktat. Start your day with the field. Those of you who are passionate will love it. And those who are not passionate will have to learn the passion. And remain grateful. Because every time you'll go into the field, you will know you have much more than they have. Then you'll feel, अरे मैं सोचता था मुझे कम मिल रहा है, मैं तो सबसे ज़्यादा मेरे पास है. मेरे पास साफ पानी भी है, घर भी है, बिजली भी है, स्टाफ भी है, दफ्तर भी है, साफ हवा एयर कंडीशनिंग की भी है. इनके पास तो कुछ भी नहीं है. मैंने इनके लिए आया था. लेकिन तो you will remain grateful and you'll remain non-hierarchical. So you'll start listening. So what I'm saying, passion cannot come sitting in the desk. Passion comes only by going, which generates a reason for passion. And it'll keep you charged up. And it'll also bring you appreciation. It'll bring you recognition. It'll give you love. It'll give you respect. Why do you deprive of yourself of the respect and the love, which is your right of doing such a good work, which you may do? So, gratitude भी मिलेगा, आप भी धन्यवाद करोगे, वो भी धन्यवाद करेंगे, आपका मन भर के आएगा, अरे मुझे मेरा आज की खुराक मिल गई, अब मैं और मन से काम करूं. So it recharges you to work better. So if you want to say, why does passion get lost? It's because you lose your way. You start underperforming. You start distancing. Once you cut that out, you will get this, you will remain passionate. Or you will become a problem solver, which will give you recognition.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Manisha Rana, Indian Forest Service. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that how can we work fearlessly in this environment where bureaucrats are being attacked here and there, and at times you have to stand alone?
Oh, did you make this the condition of your recruitment?
No, ma'am, we didn't, but it is very difficult.
Supposing I had asked you this, what will you do if there's a fear of attack in the field? Madam, you're asking for, what will you do? What would you say? I'm scared, sorry, I'm not interested? Or would you say, I'll fight back?
Ma'am, we'll fight back.
Fight back. I'm saying that this is the reason. It's bureaucrats, first of all, it's in isolated cases. So let's not generalize them. But there are ways of going to the field. There are phase two. There is a situation. There's a methodology. I think that's a training which can be given to you by practically doing. There's a situation. You don't go into the crossfire and say, Madam had told me field mein aana hai, isliye main aa gayi and goli lag gayi. Ye nahi hai. It's not like that. There is a situation, and there's a methodology, and there's a style, and there's a language, everything. So it's not that mortality. It's not mortality. So you don't have to be scared. It's a methodology. Sorry, carry on.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that will there be support from, if we are not wrong, is the entire bureaucracy ready to stand up for them?
Is that also a condition of our recruitment?
Ma'am, it's not the
condition.
condition.
No, these are your fears. Look, how afraid you've already become. How afraid and insecure you've already become. That's why you're hesitant in taking search. You got to go by the rules and regulations. That's your law. That's your training. That's the training which has been given to me. This is the training which has been given to the best of my knowledge. I don't see any compromise in this training. But you have to be trained to deal with it and not be afraid of it. You need to deal with corruption. You have to deal with violence. That's a part of your training.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
That's the training you need to look. That's called personal training. And go over these fears and hesitations. It is these fears and hesitations which is holding back this country. It's exactly these fears. Because you're afraid of what? Now keeping your job. Or yourself safe. But that's not the condition in when you said, I will do it only, sir, on the condition I am safe. I get safe. And number two, nobody harasses me. None of you would have passed. But you said something different. So what you said during the interviews or prepared, please don't forget that. This is exactly what we're forgetting. We forget it the moment we enter the service and become insecure. Where is my next promotion? Who is going to be my boss? Which is going to be my city? There are methodologies to deal with fears, and I've dealt it all my life. If I had been as a woman in the Indian police service, been afraid from day one, I wouldn't have been here anywhere. I also had threats, but I knew how to deal with them. But I was in uniform. You're not in uniform. There is uniform around you. There are situations which you can be taken care of. You can be protected. But that doesn't mean that you insulate and isolate. You are meant for people. You're public servants. You have to be. Because politicians face the risk, they go because they need the vote. You don't need the vote. That's why you stay in the office. But you're supposed to go. You're supposed to be in the field. You're supposed to meet people. But you go with the method. You go with a strategy. These are exactly what you said. Thank you very much for this question. These are the insecurities I'm reading in the people's minds. And because of their insecurity, the courage is gone. Risk-taking is gone. Decision-making is gone. Is going. It's all pushing files. Order for order for order. They're not even writing what they think. I get files as Lieutenant Governor. I get files and files from different departments. Something is for orders, something's clearly stated. This is what the rules say, this is what the note sheet says, this is what the policy says, now for orders or for approval. But some says, here, nothing, whatever is enclosed at FR 1, 2, 3, 4, for orders. I sent back the file. Hey, Johnny, don't you have a view? Put your view on this. Put your view, and then I'll agree or disagree. So this is what is happening. Risk-taking, courageous, expressing your viewpoint, even on the file, you're afraid to say it now. Because you're afraid to annoy your senior. You're assessing your senior before you're recording your file. You have to say, this is the rule, this is the policy, and this is what my view is. Now, for orders and approval, or for consideration. So, please understand, this is exactly the issues at the moment. And this is costing the country heavily. Heavily. I am getting an experience of looking at things in overall. How one officer at the right place, the right officer, right place is making a huge difference. And one officer at the right place, but wrong officer is declining the whole institution, finishing it. Finishing it. And nothing but the All India Civil Services is responsible for this, either for growth or for decline, in any respect. Because you are the seniors. You are finally deciding. But if you are also afraid, then who's going to take the decisions? If you've come from and number three, you come from a self-learned examination. Why don't you continue to upskill yourself selfly on your own? How many of you keep upskilling yourself? Today, everything's available on the net. Pay for yourself, upskill. Why don't we regularly upskill ourselves? Today, everything's available. Whether it's IT, whether it's humanities, whether it's science, whether it's management, everything's right there. Leadership, everything's on the net. Every day, read it. Put aside half an hour to read, you have enough to read. You can do courses. But we have passed after such a tough examination, but now we want to be taught. You have come here self-taught. Why are you wanting to be taught now? You are teachers yourselves. You're all teachers. You're all professors. You're all leaders. You're not students anymore. You should be getting the course, self-study, and please take the exam. Teach each other. Quality circles formed. Discuss, we'll judge you on your debates and your discussions. You passed a very tough exam. Much more than many professors wouldn't have. So, I think this is the way to continue to have more confidence. But after this exam, we start dithering and being afraid, that's what the country is suffering from. That's why I'm trying to take you back to the field to continue to develop your own constituencies. Good opinion, respect will be your constituency. Because people will love you, respect you, and they will even admire you, and you'll become role models for the youth. India needs you people as role models. When they see All India Civil Services officers, I'm telling you, the youth gets inspired and they want to take the civil services examination to be like you. But if you're not visible, who do they see? Who do they see? That model, which is only sitting on the files, not available, we don't even know who our Director Education is or who our Secretary Education is. Why doesn't Secretary Education visit a school every day? One school a day? What's the harm? Where is the threat? Where's the threat for Secretary Education? Visit one school a day. Where is the threat for a DGP to visit one police station a day? Where is the threat for a Secretary Health to visit one hospital a day? Where is the threat? Where is the threat for Secretary Land and Development or Municipal Services to drive the streets and stop by where there's garbage and find out ye kyun nahi hua saaf subah 9 baje? Why not? Where's the threat in this? Any other? We make it the last question. Thank you. Any other? Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah. We make it the last question.
Ma'am, you had mentioned that some innovative changes can be brought about and motivate people to come along. Do you think that provided the kind of tenure that we have as a civil servant in one particular place, if we bring about any change, do you think it will be brought in the system and the changes that we try to bring will be continued on by other people who replace us or come in our place?
It's a good question. Supposing I turn it around and you were sitting for this examination and I would pose this question to you at the UPSC chairperson, what would your answer be? Could you please stand up and answer? Please stand up and answer. If this was it, look, I as a chairperson of the UPSC or a member of the UPSC, I say, but you know what? The tenures are very short here these days, madam. And there'll be a lot of threats sometimes from the certain quarters. And you already don't have much of an assignment you didn't. How would you still deal with it? You still want the service? Answer.
Ma'am, I think I will do what I can do. I'm not sure what will happen next. Maybe the next person might not or might continue what I do. So I will put my best in what I am.
That is why you passed. That is why you passed. Why should this question be at all? You've already passed this question. Why are you raising this question again? Questions you have passed. Was that artificial interview or was it genuine? Artificial. It was artificial. That is the problem. You passed some people have passed faking answers. And that's why they've come. And now they're looking for answers. That's the reason. Authenticity is so important. So we have faked answers. At that time we passed. But we didn't have a serum to test you really whether you were faking it or was it true. We don't have a serum test. But you have a right to ask this question to me, and you have correctly answered it. I would have answered it the same way, and this is exactly what I did in my life. I did with whatever I got to the best of my ability, period. You transfer me tomorrow, I'm ready to go. That's why I never invested into heavy furniture. There was no heavy furniture in my house because I do not know when I'm going to move. So, my friend, the answer is our right to any position is not a right. We do not have a right to any position. We only have a duty to the position we get. And our duty is to give it the best and give it the maximum. And as long as it lasts. The problem is somewhere else. Remember, even the people who are transferring you and giving you short tenures are also amongst you, are from our own services. It's our own bureaucracy, our own civil services, which decides on each other. Then you have to remember that when you come into a top position, you don't make the mistake which your senior is making. Will you remember that? That is the answer. Lessons. Every day, as juniors, you can learn from the mistakes you see your seniors making. So when you become seniors, you don't make the mistakes. But what we do is, we learn the mistakes and repeat the mistakes. So the answer is, do not learn, on the contrary, unlearn them. And remember, जब मैं बनूंगी चीफ सेक्रेटरी, या जो मैं बनूंगा सेक्रेटरी, जब मैं बनूंगा कलेक्टर, या मैं बनूंगा कमिश्नर, या मैं ये बात नहीं करूंगा. क्योंकि मैंने देखा, वो मुझे, it hurt me, it will hurt the other too. I'm not going to do something which hurts others. I won't do it. Even if it means few months only as a collector, so be it. The law of averages works. In everybody's life, law of averages work. And sometimes there is a position where there's no work. Let me tell you that. I'll give you one example where I got a position and I had no work in it. So I was posted after prison posting and I was given an assignment. So I went to my senior officer and I said, sir, it was called IG Policy Planning and Implementation. So, went to my IG, sir, this is policy planning and implementation. So what can I know? What am I to do? Where is a charter of something? He says, Kiran, you have a car? I said, yes, sir. You have a driver? I said, yes, sir. You have a stenographer? And you have an office? That's it. So I said, sir, I understand. He wanted no work from me. So, I had a choice. Whether I twiddle my thumbs in the office and sulk and complain and go to the Home Minister and go to CAT, go to tribunal. I said, it's an opportunity. For the first time in my life, I'm getting a job which has no responsibility. So, I will choose my own path. I put in a study leave application. I fortunately got the Nehru Fellowship after my prison work. I'd anticipated that it might happen, so why can't I do academics one day? So I went into, I had the fellowship, and in the Nehru Fellowship, you are entitled for leave. I asked to begin with saying, sir, I have Nehru Fellowship. I'd like to document my work, which I did in the prison, and therefore it's also condition of the fellowship to write. Therefore, I'd like to now go back to research. I may be given leave. I got my leave. I wrote my book for 2 years. By the time my draft of the book was ready, I got a call from a Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, then Mr. Tajinder Khanna. He said, Kiran, come and see me. By the time I'd written my work, I was enjoying my 2 years, traveled all over the world with that fellowship on the prisons. And he said, do you know what he said? Can you join me? I said, sir, yes. Can you join me as a special secretary to Lieutenant Governor, Delhi? I said, sir, for how long? He says, up to you. I said, yes, sir, I will. See what happened? When I had no responsibility, I felt very light. I'm not running away from any work. I went. I did something very creative. And I created a document, which became a document later. It's history. I'm not into that at the moment. It's life gives you your own sense of understanding and choices. But you have to remain self-respecting, be in command, be in control, and take your decisions. I did not lose my self-confidence. Because, first woman, so and so, this is why I never complained. Here's a woman being treated like that. No way. I said, sir, thank you for setting me free. They set me free. When they set me free, I became my own master. I wrote my book. I may not have ever been able to document that book, but they gave me 2 years of paid study leave, paid. So, traveled the world because it had money to travel. Question here is, sometimes nature gives you opportunities. You don't see the signs. You have to just see the signs. Believe in your own destiny. Don't doubt your own intentions. Keep your own confidence and remain grateful. I remained grateful for whatever I wanted to. Saying whatever comes is gratitude. And that's it, friends. You have to make your own choices. I know you've all come with your own backgrounds. Each one has coming with their own academic backgrounds, family backgrounds, character traits, personality traits. We're all not similar. I'm not asking you to be like anybody else. But when you join the public service, the answers you gave in the interview, do not forget them. Because if you forget them, then remember, you're not an authentic officer. You have somewhere misled the UPSC, and you got this because of that. Remain true to your answers and be ready and prepare yourself for taking on and doing your best. I'm not asking taking on and fight around. No. Take your dignified decisions. Remain dignified and being composed with your own family support, with your friends' support, and with your energy, which you generate every day in the morning. Spiritual energy, moral energy, public energy. Energy is very vital. You are energetic, you'll deliver. Continue to generate energy, because energy is very vital. You're sick, you have nowhere. Energy with right kind of attitude. Keep working, you got a long life. Those people will go, you will come back. Like I did. I didn't ask for it. And rest is all history. So I wish you and pray for you. Each one of you, you live up to this prayer. इधर लिखा है डरो नहीं, लिखा ना, है ना? हाँ, तो डरो नहीं. जीवन आपके साथ है, मेहनत की है, सफलता मिलेगी. नियत साफ रखना, ईमानदारी रखना, न्याय रखना, सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट रखना, और सेवा भाव नहीं भूलना कि मैं देश की सेवा के लिए आया हूं, गरीब के लिए पहले आया हूं. सीनियर भी हैं, अमीर भी हैं, पावरफुल भी हैं, लेकिन पहले मैं गरीब के लिए आया हूं. क्या मैं उसकी जरूरत पूरी कर सकता हूं? और वो मेरे दफ्तर तो आएगा नहीं, मुझे गरीब के पास जाना ही पड़ेगा, गांव में भी और गंदी गलियों में भी. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, ma'am.